DreAllDay.com.
What's up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. The Western Conference Finals. We are finally here. We got the Golden State Warriors going up against the Houston Rockets. We made it to the number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed. Didn't look like it was going to be that way for a while, but that's how we ended up. First of all, let's talk about the number 1 seed Warriors. Let's talk about the previous series. I picked the Grizzlies to win that series, and I think I picked them in 6, so I was wrong about that, because the Warriors ended up closing them out in 6, so I was the exact opposite on that series. Golden State, I mean, they're a hell of a team. Number 1 seed, best home record in the league, best record period in the NBA this year, and they're doing their thing. Stephen Curry, the MVP, has lived up to his billing. He had a couple slow games early in the series, but then he turned it up. Basically played the way he played all season, which is why he was the MVP. So he has definitely done his thing. Andrew Bogut's been playing really good on defense. And I didn't even get to see all of the games of that series or all of each game that I saw in that series. So I'm going to get a better look at them in the Western Conference Finals if I choose to stay up late and watch all these games. As far as the Memphis Grizzlies go, not having Tony Allen or 100% healthy Tony Allen, of course, hurt because he's their defensive stopper. So if you don't have him to put on Clay or Steph Curry, that's going to slow things. That's going to hurt you, period. When you're playing against the damn MVP and your best defensive player is not there to guard him, that really puts you at a serious disadvantage. One thing that the Memphis Grizzlies are missing is they need outside shooting. They need perimeter shooting because they got those 2 big guys down there, Zebo and Marc Gasol. But if the defense can collapse on those guys and you don't have guys that are going to make them pay from the outside, then there's not really anything else you can do. So I think the Memphis Grizzlies need to add some shooting. They probably will add some shooting in the offseason to get their team better. Now let's flip to the other series where I had the Clippers beating the Rockets in 6, and they almost did. What was that? Friday night? It might have been Thursday night. No, Thursday night. Thursday night, the Clippers were playing the Rockets. The Rockets seemed to be combusting on the court. Dwight Howard's picking up technical fouls, missing layups, dropping passes. DeAndre Jordan's blocking the shot. The crowd's going crazy. The Clippers are getting threes, layups, dunks. They up by 20 in the third quarter. I'm like, all right, this game is pretty much over, but I'll just stay up so I wanted to watch the rest of the game just to see the Clippers celebrate finally making it to the conference finals. Chris Paul making it to the conference finals for the first time, to watch Steve Ballmer, the Clippers owner, do his celebrations down on his baseline courtside seats. So I said, all right, let me just stay up to watch this. And then all of a sudden, the Rockets start making shots. Jason Terry hits a couple shots. James Harden comes out of the game. Corey Brewer makes a few plays. Josh Smith starts hitting 3-pointers. Josh Smith hitting 3-pointers off the dribble. Like the exact thing that people have told him, the exact thing people have been screaming for him not to do his whole career. He starts doing it and making it in the most important quarter of his whole career. If we really want to look at it like that, Josh Smith starts making threes. Dwight Howard didn't get any more texts. He didn't really mess up no more. All of a sudden, the Clippers can make a shot. Chris Paul can make a shot. Blake Griffin, I'm a fan of Blake Griffin, but I got to be honest, in the fourth quarter of the last couple big games I've seen Blake in, fourth quarter of Game 7 against the Spurs, and that fourth quarter in Game 6 against Houston, and the fourth quarter of Game 6 against Houston. Game 7 and Game 6. The fourth quarter of both of those games and Game 7 against the Spurs, my subjective observation is Blake Griffin did not want the ball. Now, I may be right. I may be wrong. Actually, I'm neither. It's just an opinion. It seemed to me the guy didn't want the ball. He gets the ball and he doesn't even look at the basket. He catches it somewhere on that perimeter, that 18 to 20 foot range, and immediately he starts pivoting, looking for somebody to hand the ball off to. I'm like, why are you trying to pass the ball to J.J. Redick? You're Blake Griffin. You do something with the ball. Let them foul you. You go to the line and make the shots. You take over. I mean, you the max player out there. J.J. Redick ain't the max player. I know he hits the threes, but, I mean, it's your team. You got to do your thing. It's you and Chris Paul. Y'all the guys. I know Chris Paul wanted the ball. He was missing. Blake Griffin didn't want the ball. That's just my observation. If some of y'all saw something different or saw the same thing, you let me know. And like I said, Game 7 of the Spurs series, he didn't want the ball either. And I think he needs to start wanting the ball if that team's going to go where they're going to go. Like, you the man, so everybody's looking at you. So if you don't want the ball, then who else is going to want the ball? that collapse by the Clippers was really, really bad. I mean, Chris Paul, of course, people have always said, this guy is great. He has all these great stats. He's obviously a great player, but he never made it past the second round. And it looked like he was about to, and then they collapsed. I think in the end, the Clippers' lack of a bench hurt. Big Baby Davis, Austin Rivers, Spencer Hawes, those guys would not be in the rotation for any team that was in the second round of the playoffs. Wizards, Bulls, Cavs, Hawks, Rockets, Warriors, Grizzlies. Those three guys would not be getting in the game if they was playing for any of those other teams. But for the Clippers, they needed to play a lot. And I know Austin Rivers had that one game where the crowd was chanting his name. It was fun to watch. Big Baby made a play or two, but Big Baby is not even in shape right now to be playing. I don't even know what happened to Big Baby. And Spencer Hawes is, I don't know, he just doesn't seem to be that good anymore. I don't know if he ever was. He wasn't never on a team that really needed him to do anything because no team he was on ever competed. But those guys wouldn't be in a rotation for any of the other teams. The other 7 teams that were in the second round of the playoffs, none of those guys were even getting the game. So anyway, let's enough talk about the losers. Let's talk about the winners. The Houston Rockets. Josh Smith has been playing well. I mean, his confidence got to be high after the way he played the last 2 games of that series. He stepped in for Monty Eunice, who's been out. Pat Beverly hasn't been playing, but Jason Terry has stepped up. Corey Brewer he fits perfectly into his role for that team. And James Harden, of course, we all know James Harden's story. Dwight Howard, we know what Dwight Howard can do. I think him against Bogut is going to be a hell of a matchup, but I think Dwight's athleticism is going to show, absolutely, obviously. I'm interested to see the Klay Thompson-James Harden matchup. I like watching the Warriors play at home because they got a hell of a home crowd. Definitely the best home crowd in the NBA right now. It's the closest thing to a college arena that you're going to get in the NBA. With the high-priced tickets, they price all the real hardcore fans out of the best seats. But the Warriors had that best home court advantage right now. What do I think about this series? This series is hard for me to pick. This is a really tough one, but in the end, I'm going to have to go with the things that are going to sway me in this series. Number one is I don't think Josh Smith is going to keep hitting three-pointers. I think he's going to keep shooting three-pointers, but I don't think he's going to keep making three-pointers. That's number one. Number two, I've come to believe that you can't depend on Dwight Howard for an entire 7-game series. Because in Game 6 of that Houston series, he was starting to really mess up, dropping passes, getting texts, arguing with the refs too much. And then his teammates, Terry, Brewer, and Josh Smith stepped up. And really, those were the guys that really pulled them back. Even Prigioni in that Game 6 win over the Clippers. James Harden is going to do his thing. But Golden State, Stephen Curry is the man right now. Klay Thompson is the man next to the man. He's doing his thing. Andre Iguodala is a great role player. He's fit into his role and accepted his role, which is huge. Draymond Green has had a great coming out party this season. Bogut, if he's healthy, does exactly what they need him to do. Steve Kerr is doing his thing as a coach, and they got that home court advantage. They've been winning all season. They have the confidence, even though they don't have players on their team who have experience in the championship level. They got a coach who does, and Steve Kerr. And I think with that home court advantage, that matters. Even though Houston has the veterans, I'm going to have to pick the Golden State Warriors to win this series only because of Houston's resiliency and the way they came back against the Clippers. I'm going to send this series to 7 games. I say the Warriors beat Houston on their home floor, what they played for all season, that Game 7 home court advantage. They beat the Warriors on their home court in Game 7 to advance to the Eastern Conference, to the NBA Finals. So this year we're going to have the Golden State Warriors, Stephen Curry, against the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James. We never got Kobe against LeBron, so now we got the next best thing. Stephen Curry, the new guy, against LeBron James in the NBA Finals. That is my prediction for the Western Conference Finals. Let me know what you think about everything I said in this video. Who you think is going to win. Not just who you think is going to win, but why you think they're going to win. Leave it in the comments. That series starts. I'm putting this out on Tuesday, so that series starts tonight, Tuesday night. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. Thanks for checking out this video. Make sure you follow all my top content up here. Follow me on all your favorite social networks right over here. And make sure you are subscribed to catch all the new content I put on this channel every single day. Work on